Crisis in Chicago. As the new receivers coach contradicts all the experts about our star rookie, a former GM begs the Bears to sacrifice their future in a desperate trade with Pittsburgh. To make matters worse, our highest paid cornerback receives impossible orders from the new defensive coordinator. The next 72 hours will define the franchise's future. Are we witnessing the rebirth of the monsters of the Midway or total collapse? No one will tell you these exclusives like I will. Stay until the end. What we're seeing with the Chicago Bears is unprecedented, and I have to say it outright. Antoine Randall L. just dropped a bomb at Hollis Hall with his statements about Rome Odunze. Are you ready for this? The Bears' new receivers coach admitted he had Odunze as the number 1 on his draft board last year. Above Marvin Harrison Jr., above Malik Neighbors. Yes, sir, and I ask you, what the heck does this mean for Odunze's future in Chicago? I think this is much bigger than it seems at first glance. We're talking about a coach coming directly from Ben Johnson's system in Detroit, the same system that turned Amon-Ra St. Brown into a superstar. Can we expect the same for Odunze? Absolutely. Let's be honest here. Odunze had a rookie year. Acceptable. 54 receptions, 734 yards, 3 touchdowns. Decent numbers, but nothing spectacular. But I tell you this, it's not the kid's fault. How the heck is he going to shine when the Bears' passing attack was second to last in the whole league with just 181.5 yards per game? Pathetic. And let's not even talk about the chaos in the coaching staff. Eberflus and Waldron fired mid-season. Who can develop in that environment? No one. But now, with Johnson and Randall L., we have a clear vision for the offense. And let's not forget Keenan Allen probably won't return, which means more targets for Odunze. You know what really intrigues me? I ask you, what does Randall L. know that we don't? This man was in Detroit, saw firsthand how Johnson's offense works, and now comes and says Odunze was his number 1. This isn't a casual comment, folks. This is a statement of intent. Think about it carefully. In Detroit, the Lions went from being a mediocre team to an offensive powerhouse. And who was one of the key pieces? Amon-Ra St. Brown, a receiver not picked in the first round, but under Johnson and Randall L.'s guidance, became one of the best in the league. Can you imagine what they could do with a talent like Odunze, who has a much higher ceiling? And I tell you this with total conviction, if Randall L. sees that potential in Odunze, we should all be excited. This could be the year our receiver explodes and becomes the nightmare of every NFL defense. We're talking about a receiver who combines size, speed, and exceptional hands. What more do you need to dominate it all? I think absolutely nothing. But let's move on to another topic that has all Bears fans biting their nails. Mike Tannenbaum, former Jets GM, is begging the Bears to make a trade with the Steelers. The plan? Give up the 10th pick to Pittsburgh so they can select Shedder Sanders and in return receive the 21st pick plus compensations. I ask you, is this the right move for Chicago? I think it totally depends on who's available at the 10th position. If Ashton Jeanty is still on the board, the Bears should run to deliver that card. But if not, this trade could be pure gold. Think about it for a moment. The Bears could get the 21st pick, probably a mid-round pick this year, and a first rounder in 2026. 3 picks for 1. And at the 21st position, they could still get an impact player like Omarion Hampton to complement DeAndre Swift in the backfield, or maybe an edge rusher like James Pierce Jr. or Mike Green, or perhaps bolster the secondary with Nick Emenwari. The options are many and all would be valuable. Ryan Poles has a golden opportunity here, and I tell you this, it would be a monumental mistake not to seriously consider this offer. And here's the interesting part. Why are the Steelers so desperate to move up in the draft? Because they desperately need a quarterback. They've been stuck in mediocrity hell since Ben Roethlisberger retired. Russell Wilson isn't the long-term answer, and they know it. And what better than to take advantage of this desperation to gain valuable draft capital? But let me be honest with you, this trade has its risks. If Sanders turns out to be the next great quarterback in the league, and the Bears passed up that opportunity, fans will never forgive Poles. I ask you, are you willing to take that risk? I think it's worth it, especially considering we already have Caleb Williams as our franchise quarterback. But you know what really puzzles me? The news about Kyler Gordon, after the Bears made him the highest paid slot cornerback in the entire NFL with a 3-year, $40 million extension. The new defensive coordinator Dennis Allen wants him to learn 2 new positions, safety and outside cornerback. I ask you, is this brilliant or completely insane? I think it's a bit of both. Gordon is an exceptional tackler and has the speed to play safety, but he's also a master at the nickel position. Why change something that works? The answer might be in the draft. Are the Bears considering selecting Will Johnson from Michigan? Is this move with Gordon preparation for that? Johnson is talented, but he also has his doubts, especially after refusing to run the 40 at his pro day. What worries me most is that Gordon will have his 3rd defensive coordinator in just 4 years in the league. How the heck is a player supposed to develop like that? It's like he has to start from scratch every year. And now, on top of that, he has to learn new positions. It's a huge burden for a young player, no matter how talented they are. But there's another angle we need to consider. The NFL is constantly evolving, and versatility is increasingly valued. Look at players like Minkah Fitzpatrick or Tyrann Mathieu. Their ability to play multiple positions makes them invaluable to their teams. Is Dennis Allen trying to turn Gordon into that kind of weapon? I think so, and if successful, it could completely transform our defense. And I tell you this with all honesty, Dennis Allen could be playing with fire here. Gordon has proven to be one of the best at his position. Moving him could destabilize an already solid defense, but it could also make him an even more versatile weapon. It's a calculated risk, but a risk nonetheless. Let's think about the tactical implications. If Gordon can play as a safety, outside cornerback, and in the slot, that gives Allen huge flexibility to design coverages and confuse opposing quarterbacks. At any given moment, Gordon could be covering deep, and the next, he could be glued to a slot receiver. That unpredictability is gold for a defensive coordinator. But we also have to consider the physical and mental toll. Learning and executing multiple positions requires tremendous effort. Is Gordon ready for that? Can he maintain his level of play in all those positions? These are questions only time will answer. So, summarizing everything we've discussed today, we have a receivers coach who firmly believes in Odunze, a potential golden opportunity in the draft with the Steelers, and a risky move with Kyler Gordon that could change the face of our defense. I ask you, what team are we building here? An immediate contender or a long-term project? I think we're seeing a mix of both. Ben Johnson didn't come to Chicago to rebuild, he came to win now, but Poles is also thinking about the future, ensuring this team is competitive for years, not just one season. And speaking of Johnson, let's not forget the impact his arrival will have on Caleb Williams. This is perhaps the most crucial aspect of this whole situation. Williams had a complicated rookie year, but with an offensive genius like Johnson at the helm, we can expect a significant improvement in his 2nd year. Imagine an offense where Odunze is unleashing his potential as the #1 receiver, Williams is playing at a Pro Bowl level, and the defense has an ultra-versatile Gordon closing all routes. Isn't that the team we've all been waiting to see? I think so, and we're closer than ever to making it a reality. The coming weeks will be crucial for the future of this franchise. The draft will give us many answers, but will also raise new questions. The only sure thing is that the Chicago Bears are in the midst of a transformation, and we are all privileged witnesses. But what really excites me is the cultural change we're seeing. Poles and Johnson are building a team with a clear identity. They are no longer the Bears of old, solely dependent on their defense. Now we have an offense that can compete with anyone, and a defense that remains formidable. That combination is what wins Super Bowls, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think about Randall L's assessment of Odunze? Do you believe our receiver really has the potential to surpass Harrison and Neighbors this upcoming season, or is it just smoke to generate expectations? Regarding the possible trade with Pittsburgh, would you sacrifice the 10th pick for more draft capital, or would you prefer to stay in that position and select an elite player who can have an immediate impact? What would you do if you were in Ryan Poles' shoes? And finally, do you agree with Dennis Allen's decision to move Kyler Gordon to new positions? Is this a stroke of genius or a blunder that could destabilize our secondary? Have you seen other examples of players who have succeeded after a similar change? Bears family, this channel exists thanks to you and for you. We are the most passionate and loyal community in the entire NFL, and together we share this emotional roller coaster that means being a Chicago Bears fan. If you value this unfiltered analysis and want to keep receiving the most important news about our team before anyone else, like this video and subscribe right now. Turn on the bell to not miss any exclusive updates about our Bears. Together we will see this team return to glory and lift that Lombardi trophy we so deserve. See you in the next video with more fresh news from Halas Hall.